I don't have this giant on it.
Mike Wilson, Rob Lewis, and Grant Ramey.
Yeah, Rick, do you have an update on John Fulkerson as far as an injury goes? Do you expect him tomorrow? And what was your vision and reaction to that play?
Actually, Mike, I did not see it. I'd already looked the other way, turned the other way. I didn't see it. Heard it wasn't very, wasn't good at all, obviously. But they did take him to the hospital just for observation, and I think it was more for his eye than anything else. But tomorrow, I don't know. Right now, we'd say we could count on him. Again, we'll wait and see. But I got feeling, he took two pretty good licks right there, and I'd be surprised if he is available.
Coach, just defensively, that's twice in a row that you've really been able to put the handcuffs on Florida. What was it about, your guys, the game plan in these two that you've been able to hold them? I think it was 32% shooting combined in the two games.
A really good team effort, Rob. I thought we've worked hard we've always worked hard at, but a big emphasis on our ball screen defense, getting up to touch. We didn't want to get strung out, where we weren't up there and giving their guards a chance to either split it, drag us down to the baseline. We really wanted to have a confrontation right there at the impact of the ball. For the most part, we did. And then I thought, stayed in our coverage and were disciplined that way with when we couldn't get our primary defense what we wanted, we were switching out. I thought our guards did a really good job when they got switched off on a post guy down low, really trying to fight just to sit on the postman's hip and get in front. And everybody else knew what was happening, and then trying to come in and help as much as we could. But it's just really a good team effort, and we can still be better. We're going to have to be better, and we just need to adjust when the game, like when you got a player that they start putting their head downhill, trying to go as hard as they can. That's when we got to keep backing up in space and trying to force some contested jump shots as opposed to getting fouled or letting them get to the rim.
Rick, what do y'all got to do against Alabama tomorrow that you guys didn't get done a couple months ago?
I go back to that game. It was Yves Pons picked up 2 quick fouls early in that game. Jaden didn't play. He was playing well. I think he drove it, if I can remember right, turned his ankle, and then it got away from us, and we didn't handle it very well. That was really one of the first games, I thought, where we were down and didn't know quite how to respond. I think they've gotten better. I'd like to think that we've gotten better. We're going to need everybody. We're going to need, if Fulky's not available, we're going to need more guys to step up and help us, but we're going to have to defend a team that, so I think one of you guys mentioned it to Santi. I heard you say about threes or getting to the rim. And again, it goes back. We're going to have to play good offense ourselves. We're going to have to be able to take care of the basketball and not have those on-ball turnovers that lead to easy baskets.
Nicholas Hill, Ben McKee, and Wes Rucker.
Coach, Yves Pons set a Tennessee basketball record today with 9 blocks and tied the all-time SEC tournament record. Do you think this was his single best individual defensive performance?
I thought he was terrific. He was locked in. You could tell it. You could tell it the last couple of days, but from start to the finish, what he had to do down there and the way he plays. But I thought he was just locked in both ends, and he was terrific. He really was. His blocks were great, and we told our guys at halftime, "Hey, Eve's going to come get them. You guys just got to clean it up for him." And for the most part, in the second half, again, that happened for the most part. I think one of them, he went up and tried to block it, and we didn't have the backside still down. But he was locked in, and I kept looking at him, asking if he needed a blow. He said, I'm good, and just happy for him because he was outstanding.
Rick, just how big were those minutes from Uros, and what was he able to do to stay on the sustained minutes on the floor?
Well, I think what it shows is, you go back all year long, nobody's been a more of a teammate, caring, not seeing the floor as the way all players would like to. But the last couple of days in practice, this time off, as we've been practicing and getting up and down the floor playing more, it just started working for him. And he really started buying into what we need him to do. But he's been really good in practice. And I think his size obviously can be a factor for us. And, he is a guy that when he's out there, he does like to get moving on offense and set screens, and we'll just get him rolling consistently and getting himself ready to catch the ball. And he passes the ball. He loves passing the ball. But his minutes in Eve today, those were on the front line. Those were big, big minutes.
Rick, a lot of people talk about sort of the unique way Alabama plays the game. People keep saying that in stories, and you keep seeing it on TV. How different is the way they play basketball? Is it just maybe an exaggerated version of what some other people do, or is it pretty unique?
No, I think there's other people that, there's a lot of people want to shoot the three early, but some people don't believe in the mid-range game, and if that's what they believe in, that's what they believe in. And obviously, analytics, I think they're really into the analytics where they believe what they're doing is the right way. I mean, Nate's done a terrific job. I mean, coach of the year and well deserving, and he's got the personnel to do it. Player of the year, and they really, I mean, everything they've gotten, they've deserved.
We're going to finish up with Coach with Joe Rexroad, Kyle Tucker, and Mike Wilson.
Rick, you mentioned an eye for John Fulkerson. Is that the eye itself, bone around the eye? Is there any specifics you can tell us? And then is a concussion also a concern with John?
I don't know. I really don't. But they just said that he was. They said he was fine. They just were taking him to the hospital for observation. And somebody mentioned to me about the eye, but that's all I know.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, Rick, I'm sure you've seen last couple of days. It's been kind of a crazy sequence of events. Duke, then Virginia in the ACC tournament, now Kansas in the Big 12 tournament, out because of positive COVID tests. As somebody that's likely in the NCAA tournament already, is there any worry for you with just a few days out from the NCAA tournament about continuing on and the risk of that and what happens if you pop up with a COVID issue this close to the NCAA tournament?
I'm not sure, unless you own it like we are every day, the stress of getting tested weekly and knowing that the one thing you hate is knowing throughout the whole year, the testing protocol, knowing that first thing in the morning, 6 o'clock, you're going to get a text. All guys are negative or we got a positive. And that's been going on now for 4 months, 5 months. So has it been stressful for everybody? No doubt about it, players included. And we've tried and will continue to handle it the best way that we can and do what we need to do there. But it's been a concern all year. I mean, and for everybody, and we know it. I don't know the protocols at either, the Big 12 or the ACC. All I can tell you is I don't think there's been a better league in the country from start to finish trying to do things the right way and be on top of everything than the SEC. And again, I admire how diligent they've been about everything. But to answer your question, I don't think there's a coach, a player in the country that doesn't worry about that every time we go in and get the swab.
Do you wish that there was a little more cushion between this weekend and the tournament, knowing that a COVID issue could knock you out of the thing?
I don't think it would matter. I really don't. I think that we got to proceed as we say we do. And again, I don't know what their protocol is. I don't know if it was a contact tracing. I have no idea. I don't know the protocol, what went on there. But no, I'm not sure. It's like we said when we started the season late. I didn't think we should. I thought we should have started on time and give us a longer runway. And I think right now, at some point in time, it's got to come to a conclusion regardless. And I know that every player in the country, staff, it's been a major concern knowing things like this could happen. And I just hope, again, I don't know the whole deal, but I just hope that it works for all of us, because it has been a long, trying year for everybody. And for other players, again, we talked about it this morning. It was a year ago, and we actually had a little placard made up for Jordan Bone that we put on our bench today, because he was the one guy. I remember seeing him on the back of the bus a year ago when we walked out of this building. And he was devastated. He couldn't believe his college career was over with. And what we talked about was being grateful for what we've been able to have up to this point. And I think that's got to be from here on, whatever we can get done, and be thankful for it, be grateful for it. And I know our guys are, again, it's been a long year for lots of people, and but we've gotten to this point, and I just hope we can finish it strong for everybody. But there still is a lot to be grateful for because of how far we've come from a year ago.
Rick, assuming you don't have John tomorrow, is that a situation then where you expect to play a lot of Eve at the 5 and probably see more Olivier in terms of matching up with Alabama?
I haven't thought, but you probably. I mean, again, this time of year, you got to do what you got to do. You know, if guys that play, again, I thought Uros was terrific. I like to think if we go to Olivier or EJ, that those guys will be ready to roll and whatever. We're going to have to do, again, this time of year, you just one game at a time and you try to win and move on.
Squeeze in one last question for Rob Lewis, and just want to clarify on Kyle's question. Coach meant to say Jordan Bowden.
What did I say?
Jordan Bowden.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jordan Bowden. Jordan, yeah.
Coach, just what did you think about your team's response after the situation with Fulkerson? I mean, they didn't respond in kind, but it was pretty clear just from body language and effort that they weren't going to be intimidated. They weren't going to back down.
They were upset. They were very upset. And what we tried to talk about, Rob, was, you know, the emotion of it. Let's just, you know, not let the, you know, like I think the technical foul called on Josiah was probably nothing other than we're not going to let this thing get out of control. I don't think it was that big a deal. But at that point, at what had happened, everything can escalate and become a big deal. So I get the fact that the officials are going to tell them if they've told them to shut up and quit talking, they keep doing it, whether it's a very little thing as just saying, hey, I just, you know, you threw the ball at my teammate, you know, or don't throw the ball at my teammate. Referees have a hard enough job, and when it gets, you know, chippy and players are getting after it, the emotion starts to heat up. It's a tough game to officiate regardless of that. But, you know, they have, our guys have such great respect and love for Folky, but for each other. I mean, we had to calm them down. We did, no doubt about it, because they felt like it was unnecessary. And I was glad that we were able to, you know, get back at it.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
All right.